Well, awesome. Thank you so much, Sean, for sitting down with me to talk about cafe business and what it's like in London. I was wondering, could you just briefly introduce yourself for us?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Sean. I'm the owner of Artisan Bakery down in Dundas. Been here for almost 5 years now.
Nice. So I was reading that you got your bakery chops. You learned how to do a lot of this down in the French Caribbean. Is that?
Yeah, I kind of came through like fine dining through cooking. So I was trained as a chef more in like the savory realm of things. Kind of traveled around and worked in that. And then when I was living down in the French Caribbean, working at a hotel down there, that's kind of where I started doing more of the like pastry work, especially croissants and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas sourdough breads, like I was learning that in other restaurants that I worked, and started the bread program at that place in the Caribbean too.
That's wild. When I heard that, I thought like the temperature and like the climate is a lot different. So like, what was that like transferring those skills that you developed there to our climate?
Yeah, I mean, it gets pretty dang hot in here in the summer.
Yeah, fair enough.
We had really good air conditioning there, luckily. So, like, working with pastry and stuff, it wasn't too bad as far as, like, the fluctuation of the temperatures. But definitely a few things to get used to just with the temperature change and stuff. But, like I said, it gets really hot in here. So, it's not too far off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just a little different, I suppose, in the winter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
And like the changing climates, or how many years were you down there for?
I was only down there for about a year. It was COVID that brought me back. I was supposed to stay longer.
Okay.
I literally caught the last boat off the island and came back here.
Well, I'm glad you made it back.
Yeah.
And then when you got back here, you were working at Downey Street Bakehouse?
Yeah, I worked at Downey Streets kind of through COVID, doing sourdough bread there. That's kind of the focus there. So,
Yeah. It was the pandemic when you ended up buying this place, though, right?
Yeah, so we opened in 2021. We still had a couple lockdowns through that as well.
Yeah.
But mostly like open. I think there was maybe 2 lockdowns that we had through that time. But at that time we were really focused as the bakery and less as like the cafe. We didn't have the sandwiches on the way that we do now. Our coffee program was nowhere near where it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when you made that decision to start the bakery at that time, like I understand the old owners of Artisan Bakery, they were shutting it down, so it was sort of like a now or never situation. But because we were in this era of social distancing, like, did that give you pause to, or like, how did you come to the decision that was like the right move?
I was already looking for a space actively. I looked at the space like where Variety Cafe is now.
Oh yeah.
Before even the groomer was in there, like it was a bigger space. So I was already looking, and then the opportunity kind of came up where, this location is awesome. I already had the baking equipment, like it was set up for it. So we were kind of able to walk in and just get started. So it was kind of a good timing of how that worked out. Yeah.
And did you have, there was the customer base already here from Artisan Bakery, but did you have your own customers that you were bringing over as well, or?
Not so much. I mean, at the time, like I was working in Stratford, so a bit far.
Is your family from London, or?
So I grew up just outside of London,
Yeah.
just outside of Ilderton.
Oh, nice.
So I've got a lot of family and friends and stuff here. Like I grew up in the area.
You went to Medway?
I went to Medway.
Me too.
Did you?
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice. I was in Coldstream.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, like I'm Denfield Road.
Nice.
Where I grew up. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So like, Artisan Bakery is a pretty. It seems like a very community-oriented space. How do you find, or like, where do you see cafes in the community? Like, what roles do you sort of see this space play?
I think it is a lot bigger than just, being the bakery, being the cafe. As far as like what it does for the community, we have people that are here every single day that choose to spend their time here, and have been able to build that community here. The number of people where we've seen them have their kids and they're starting to grow up, or people that come here every single day and then they're moving away. You're kind of really like part of people's lives a lot more than.
I think when I stopped in here the other day to connect with you, you were saying goodbye to a baby and then patting a dog.
Yeah, that checks out. Yeah,
it's pretty cute.
Especially this community here. Like, we have this whole neighborhood back here that is pretty tight. Like, it's a lot of young families. It's a lot of people that want to support small business, and especially having the market across the street too. Like, that's really what this community is.
Nice. So, like, the products that you sell, like you said that when you first started, you were like more focused on the bakery side of things, and now it's branched out to be more of a cafe as well. What does you have like a sourdough focus, but do you do other breads, and like what are some of the favorite things that you like to make here?
Yeah, we're definitely, as far as bread goes, focused on sourdough. We do.
Is that because of the pandemic? You got into the sourdough craze?
I was doing it before it was cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, there's a lot of benefits obviously to sourdough, but it's more fun.
Yeah,
it's maybe more challenging.
Yeah.
We do like dabble into other like yeasted breads and stuff as well, and all of our like croissants and that is all yeasted.
So if somebody were to say want a pumpernickel or something, would you be able to do that, or would you likely want to point them to another bakery?
Physically able.
Okay.
Try to like keep it pretty niche as to like what we're making here.
Yeah.
Try not to make we don't want to make one of everything. Like, we do specialize in what we do. We have a select few breads that we focus on, and same with our croissants and pastries. Like, we keep it pretty focused. I don't want to be making 100 different things not very well. If we can do a few things
really well, that's good. Yeah, no doubt. So is there another bakery that you would point people to if they like if they would want something that's out of your wheelhouse?
Can't really think of anything too specifically, frankly. There's the classics of like Lynn's Bakery or Unger's up on the north end. There's other like sourdough bakeries in London, but a lot of similar stuff to us.
Okay.
You kind of have to go to the larger places to get those more like specific things, because they are kind of making one of everything.
Right. And there might be like sending it to like a larger demographic or catchment.
Yeah.
So are you connected with those bakeries very much? Like, I know in some industries, like the competition can be either contentious or amicable. Like, what's that like in the bakery world?
We're very connected with everyone.
Okay.
Especially with like cafes and that side of thing. Like, we're working directly with our competition. Like, we work with Dough EV, we work with Studio Coffee, we work with Sidetrack. As much as there are competition, like, we need to rely on each other, because London is a pretty small city. I used to work for Downey Street, and he's in the market in the Western Fair there, and we're still good friends. Like,
nice. Was that were they happy to see you branch out and start your own thing?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, he's always been very supportive.
Nice.
Yeah.
So without getting into like the details of what went on in Kilworth, and like you had went in there and you had this project there.
So we did the Kamoka Market.
Yeah.
Basically for the past 4 years.
Okay.
And built a really good community out there. A lot of those people, like, when that market's not running, they're coming here. They're coming down to Dundas. They're coming to the Western Fair Market, and we've been able to have that kind of following from there, bringing them to the East End.
So it was a good way to like connect and branch out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, I think a lot of our growth, especially to like branch out of this end of the city, came from that. We were able to connect with a lot of people.
Yeah.
We had the opportunity to open the space out there. It didn't work out in the end. Like we were there for just over a year. But
yeah.
You know.
And so like in these sorts of situations, or like just in running a business in general, you made the choice, or were looking at starting a business when it's the middle end of the pandemic. A lot of people might be like, are you sure you want to do that right now? Like, and then you were in Kilworth, had a good run there, tried a partnership, and now you've moved on from that.
Yeah.
So when you're assessing these different potentials or possibilities, is like, how do you weigh those risks to like make that jump?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you just have to try, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of what you're saying. Like even just opening a space in general, like you kind of just have to try it.
And see
Not
what
everything's going to work out, but see what sticks, right?
Yeah.
If we didn't try, we wouldn't be here in the first place.
When you're doing that, like noodling work of figuring it out, are you mostly doing that on your own in a spreadsheet, or are you talking with lots of different people about it?
A bit of both. I mean, talking with community and talking to the people that, especially like opening the Kilworth space, was talking to community members out there. We already had the market to pull from, and gauging by the customers out there, we had a lot of people interested.
Yeah,
it's hard to tell, right?
It's hard to tell. Yeah, for sure. And that's what I'm coming up against, and I think a lot of entrepreneurs come up against this exact question, especially the artisty type people who are like more community focused. It's like, how do we do the thing we love and still make it viable at the end of the day?
Yeah. It's kind of a lesson too, I think, for us in getting bigger doesn't mean better.
Right. Yeah.
Like all we've done over the past 5 years is grow, and this is really the first time where we've taken that step back and bringing it back here to just really focus. We're still expanding, like we're growing our wholesale accounts. We've added our Monday pizza night. The idea of that being bringing it back to the community and doing some fun stuff in the community. We're trying to plan some events for this summer and stuff too.
Nice.
Here on Dundas, like just really focusing on the community here.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that sort of brings me into like wondering about like, over the last 5 years, how have you found that that development process? Like first, I guess, like what have been some of the like barriers that you found that you've had to like overcome? And then maybe you can talk about some of the things that have helped you be where you're at and being prosperous.
Yeah. I mean, like we've had a lot go on down here. Like we had a couple lockdowns, like I said. We had construction. Like we didn't have a road or sidewalks for over a year. It was a pile of dirt outside. That one really especially forced us to grow outside of this building. We for sure had to do that Kamoka market because people couldn't get here as easily. We were still in the Western Fair Market, which stayed mostly accessible through that construction. But it pushed us to start working with some more like retail partners. So we actually have multiple like pickup locations outside of here. We were working with a few places that we're no longer working with, but like the Arva Flour Mill, you can still on our website order anything, pick up from there.
Okay.
So it kind of forced us to like really take that step outside of here.
Yeah.
again, it was kind of seeing like what sticks, see what's going to work for us. And we definitely gained a few avenues through it and a few connections through it. But yeah, that was kind of the big one, was the construction that really like pushed us.
Pushed you, yeah.
And then coming out of the construction, like it really kind of showed us how busy we can be here in this space. Not that people weren't showing up through the construction, we just, frankly, we weren't as accessible.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. There was no buses going by. You couldn't, take a taxi down here because there was no road.
Yeah. So during that time, specifically, but also just in general, was the city helping you at all? Like, how has your relationship been with the city?
The construction on Dundas has closed a lot of businesses. There's next to zero help, especially from the city directly. The BIA ran a few programs that, it maybe brought some people in the door, but performative solutions maybe. But nothing from the city, frankly.
Is there anything that you have thought about over the last couple of years about like how the city could improve or like help out in different ways? Like, what would you like to see from them?
I don't know what's really possible. Right? Like, tax breaks and literally anything would have been helpful, I think.
Right.
They can put up as much signage and stuff as they want, but the fact is people still aren't going to go.
Yeah.
I think they talk about wanting to have businesses succeed in this area, but they just continue to overlook it or, pass it on to someone else. So,
yeah.
I don't know what they could have done, but anything would have been better than nothing.
Nothing, yeah. There you go. Lastly, when you aren't enjoying your own products here, is there somewhere in town that you like to go, and what do you like to get there?
I'm very often at Doughy V.
Okay, nice.
Again, very friendly with the competition.
Yep.
Their apple fritter's awesome.
Apple fritter.
They've got great coffee.
Yeah. Sounds like you don't hardly ever leave the OEV.
Yeah, I live like a block over, so I don't get too far out.
Okay, nice. Awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you very much. You mentioned that you have a couple of different plans to do stuff here in the shop. Do you know what those sorts of things are? Do you have something on the horizon that you can talk about?
Yeah, a lot of it's kind of in the works. We already started the Monday pizza night. It's every Monday. It's pre-order. It's our sourdough. We were already set up with a pizza oven here to do our bread, so we're doing that. And we're going to keep changing that up. It's going to kind of try to keep it fun, and we're going to try to bring in like some guest chefs with it and stuff too. So kind of opening it up that way.
So the pizza Monday night, you make the pizzas here?
Like by absolutely everything? Just like everything else.
And then it turns into just like a little pizza house?
Exactly. And it smells so good in here.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and right now it's pickup only. We're exploring options of how we can kind of grow it a little bit more. I don't want to turn into a pizza shop. Like, it is just like for fun, and we're making like awesome food, and
cool.
It's just kind of a fun thing to do, especially like on a Monday in this area, nothing's open. So we are.
There you go. Well, thank you very much for sitting down with me. I really appreciate it. And I hope to see you at my coffee shop one day.
Absolutely.
Sweet.